What's the 411? What's the 411? Rest in peace, my boy Famous. Once again, y'all already know what it is. I'm gonna skip over the long talk in this video. We going over who killed Famous in this follow-up from my first video, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty good. I do still stand by a lot of things I said in that video on who took out Famous. But in the most recent episode of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan, we did get presented with some new evidence. Just made me kind of change my stance, but not really at the same time. What do I mean by that? I'll explain that to y'all in a little bit. But what I need for y'all to do before I get to explain is like, comment, share, subscribe, reposting if you on TikTok. I greatly appreciate it. So as I said earlier in this most recent episode of Power, we got some new evidence in relation to Famous's death. We heard a lot of different stories from a lot of different characters in this episode, some of which we can kind of cancel out and kind of rule out from killing Famous in my own opinion. Now, I had Freddy's gang pretty high on my list in terms of those who would have taken out Famous. It was clear motivation there. Obviously, Famous didn't kill Freddy, so it would make sense that his gang would want to ride for him. But in this episode, we learned that they wasn't even messing with Freddy like that. That boy Freddy wasn't sharing the wealth how he needed to, and so they kind of had a little resentment towards him in a way. Now, you could say that they was lying, and you could also say OC provided Kanan with this information. What reason does he have to lie? But you would only say something crazy like that if you wasn't locked in on the series, because we know OC was clearly lying with that bullshit information he gave to Kanan in this episode. That boy's only priority is robbing Kanan and getting that work flowing again so he can continue to put money in his own pocket. He don't care about Famous or how he died. He's just looking to profit. And in terms of Freddy's gang capping, I don't really see a reason for them to do so when Jukebox and Kanan both have straps to their heads. So for me personally, I'm ruling them out of all further investigation regarding Famous's murder. However, while I personally rule them out of Famous's murder, their word still holds weight in my opinion, because we have not just one account of this, but two separate accounts of Famous essentially being picked up by somebody before Kanan and Jukebox get to damn near blowing the brains out of what's left of Freddy's crew. We see a conversation with Detective Garcia and Famous's mother, where Garcia is asking for any links to anybody who might have been involved in some kind of violence in the street, who knew Famous, who might have wanted to take him out, etc. Now bro is all of a sudden so interested in what happened to Famous. Obviously, we didn't get to see Famous's body in the last episode when his mom did, but we know Garcia was there when she seen the body, and he even recounts the fact that Famous was actually tortured. That's information we didn't know from the episode before. Now in the same episode, we hear from someone in Freddy's crew that they heard that Famous got picked up by the feds right before he mysteriously disappeared. Now he said that's just what the streets was saying, but I feel like there's a connection between what Garcia is telling Famous's mother regarding the torture and this incident from the member of Freddy's gang. It wouldn't have brought up that line for no reason. In fact, when he's saying this, the camera zooms in on Kanan's face, because now the brain juices are flowing. Now it starts going in his head that the feds could have been connected to Famous's death. And honestly, I think that there's some merit to this theory. One of the questions you might be asking right now is, well, if they were involved in Famous's death in any capacity, why would Detective Garcia come all the way to Famous's crib and talk to his mom about not caring about her son, not providing him no evidence on what happened to Fame? It would almost come off as if he's taunting Famous's mother in this way, because he would know that Famous got taken out by the feds. And then you're also asking, well, what motivation would the feds have to take out Famous? And to answer those questions, I'm gonna just tell y'all, sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack. I got all the answers for y'all right now. Peep game. Now, as we well know, Kanan being Detective Howard's son is one of the biggest secrets in all of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan. So much so that the family literally only found out that that was his pop's last season. But you know who also knows that Detective Howard is actually Kanan's pop? Famous. Yeah, he put two and two together some seasons ago, so he's hip to the secret too. Now, I know the timelines are very tight, but is it not possible that Howard could have very well knew that Famous was taken in for questioning before he met up with Rock to meet up with Kanan and Ronnie and get that information to Rock in a separate conversation that we did not see? We've now heard on two separate occasions by Famous's mother and Detective Garcia himself that Famous was working with the feds. So at this point, I really don't have any reason to believe that he wasn't, outside of the fact that I just believe Famous was in the snitch. And we have other people throughout the series saying that he was in the snitch as well, including Jukebox and Luce. So who knows? I mean, even his best friend wasn't so sure if he was really snitching or not in the end. So we really can't tell. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that Howard overheard Famous giving away that information that Kanan was actually his son. If this happened right before he met up with Rock to then go meet up with Ronnie and Kanan, his superiors wouldn't be able to question his dealings with the Thomas family. Now, admittedly, that part of the theory is kind of convoluted in terms of Famous letting them know that Howard was Kanan's pop, because why would the feds not be looking into that at this point in time within the series? Especially knowing Garcia's boss has him looking into Kanan's family, believing that there's more to Howard's death than meets the eye, linking it to other deaths that happened within the series, which he's right about. So he may not have actually said that Kanan was Howard's son, but just seeing Famous in that holding cell would be enough enough reason for him to tell Rock, because Lord knows what Famous could say. We already know Howard thinks Famous is a goofy based on the time he's seen him and Kanan running together. I think it's very possible that Howard and Rock had a conversation before anything went down with Kanan and Ronnie, and Rock put out a hit on Famous from that point on. And we already know the dirty cops who did the job. Literally the cops that were giving Rock a hard time last season when she was trying to clean up and do the right thing. Who's to say for the right dollar they would not pick up Famous and torture him? They were literally getting paid by Rock to stop messing with her. On top of the fact that these feds, I don't know if it was just me, they were clearly racist. Famous being a minority, it wouldn't take much of a dollar for them to try to get him up out the way. Now going back to what I said about Howard, I think another key point of this season that leads me to believe that Famous could have said his name in the holding room is the conversation he has with Kanan earlier on in the season, in the first episode actually during the flashback, where Kanan and him have the only conversation they have throughout the season regarding the report he has to have on his family. When Howard tells Kanan it wouldn't be wise for you to have people knowing that you're the son of a cop. Why would he have to tell Kanan this if they already had this conversation in the past? They've already brought up the fact that it wouldn't be a good look for people to know that Kanan is the son of a fed. Why would they need to bring this up again unless it's going to get brought up again at some point in this season? So this is still very possible in my eyes, but I'm kind of leaning on the theory that he just seen Famous in the holding cell and that's all he needed to tell Rock. So up to this point, my headcanon theory is that Howard had the conversation with Rock, telling her that he seen Famous in the holding cell, that he was looking shook, and that's all that she would need to get these feds on him, and question him to see exactly what he was saying. I mean, it would line up well with what that member from Freddy's gang was telling Kanan and Jukebox in the last episode. And the reason why Detective Garcia does not know is because these are dirty cops. They're not obligated to give him that information. They just take the money and do the job. Y'all seen how they was moving in season 3. It don't take much. But y'all already know Rock would need that confirmation that he was indeed talking. And when she does get it, I can only think of 1 or 2 people taking out Famous in the end. Now, if you take away that shot from the trailer where you seen that one dude have the gun to his head, that everybody swear is Famous, and Marvin's holding the gun to his head, admittedly, that's not enough to write off the fact that Marvin killed Famous. But after 2 recent interviews from both London Brown and Antonio Ortiz, the actors who play Famous and Marvin respectively, I have no doubt in my mind that even if the cop narrative that I just brought up is false, that Marvin and Rock were a part of the hit on Famous. I'm gonna tell y'all why right now. So like I said, Antonio Ortiz plays Famous, London Brown plays Marvin. They both spoke separately on the Famous situation, with London Brown saying, what sense would it make for the story for Marvin to take out Famous? And my response to that is, are we not watching the same series? What significance to the story would it be if Marvin was the one to take out Famous as we slowly approach the final seasons of this series? Bro, I don't know if we're watching the same series, but that would be very detrimental to the Thomas family's relationship. There's no coming back from this. If Marvin's the one that actually took out Famous and Kanan finds out about it, if Jukebox finds out about it, if Lou finds out about it, the whole family is cooked. The dynamic is done. It's no more family dinners. It's no more linking up at that diner spot that linked up in season 1. It's over with. So for him to say what would be the significance in Marvin taking out Famous, there's a lot of significance there. And London Brown's a smart guy. You can't tell me he never thought about the significance or the motivation that Marvin could have in taking out Famous, especially if Rock told him that Famous was in that holding cell potentially snitching. You know how Marvin feels about snitches. I done said it before, I'm gonna say it again. We've already seen Marvin take people out for less, and we've seen Rock put out hits for a lot less too. Case in point with D-Wiz. Rest in peace. On top of that, even if the feds didn't torture Famous, we literally seen Rock and Marvin torture somebody earlier on in this season. Torture and brutalize were just very interesting words that Garcia used in the last episode, because we literally seen Marvin and Rock do the same thing in this season some episodes back. You're probably saying that still isn't enough. You just argued that Famous got tortured. Who's to say he did not die while he was getting tortured? Antonio Ortiz would like to argue otherwise, because in his interview, when asked how he feels about the way Famous went out, to paraphrase his response, he essentially says his character definitely died from a gunshot wound. So he confirms that he died by getting shot. So this is after the torture. This is after he got picked up by the feds, according to what the member of Freddy's gang said, and what Detective Garcia confirmed, and what Famous's mother confirmed based on her reaction to seeing her son's mutilated body. We know for a fact that Famous got tortured, but now we know that he definitely got shot, and that's what killed him. Don't you find it interesting that we didn't see his body in that episode? Yeah, because it was probably brutalized. It was probably too mangled to see. But I don't know. I just feel like it would be very valid information for us to know that Famous got shot, even if we didn't know he died from getting shot. The fact that we know he got shot and that's what killed him now? Oh yeah, I'm definitely big Marvin was the one to take that kill shot on Famous. No question in my mind. But yeah, man, that's my new theory and I'm standing on it. This was a joint operation that was started by Howard putting words in Rock's head, Rock getting those dirty cops involved, and having Marvin take the final kill shot to take out Famous once it was confirmed that he was a snitch. I mean, down to how the body was taken care of. We know Marvin be leaving bodies everywhere. As sloppy as it is, I would not be surprised if Marvin was the one who put him under the mattress himself. You think the feds want that coming back on them? Listen, you don't gotta like the theory. If you don't like it, that's cool. Let's talk about it in the comments. And y'all let me know who you think was the one to take out Famous. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I might do these videos up until we find out exactly what happened to Famous, considering they probably go drag this out to the last episode. But until next time, peace.